How would you like to know what the top trending sports cards are for the last 7 days? Welcome to Sports Cards Pro. I am Coach Co, and I'm going to be very excited to share with you the top trending sports cards in the sports card hobby over the course of the last 7 days based on sales volume using the Sports Cards Pro app. Team, we're going to jump right into said app. Boom. We're going to head into tools. Before we get this party started, I'd like to mention this is a premium feature, which means for $6 a month, you can actually explore not just this sales volume data feature, but many other features using the Sports Cards Pro app. Now, just for being a member of this community, just for subscribing, just for hitting that notification bell, you are going to get access to this absolutely for free, not only today, but every week with our weekly videos, team. All right, let's go right into it. Top trending sports cards for the basketball category. We've got Michael Jordan's number 26, Kobe Bryant's 138. This is his rookie tops. We have a LeBron James Panini Revolution card that has literally sold 60 times in the last 7 days, which I find very interesting. So we're going to jump into it. This might be his first Lakers card, I want to say. I don't know why they have sold in such quantity. I always try to figure it out. I haven't been able to just yet, but I'm sure I will. This card, ungraded, is going for about $4. A PSA 10 copy of this card is going for about $23. 9.5 is roughly the same price. So if you can get a PSA 10, maybe you prefer Beckett. I mean, they're roughly the same price. PSA 9 is going for about $13. The one thing I will say about this card is do not, I mean, again, this is my own opinion, but I would not recommend grading this card because the cost to grade is, let's say $15 is a generous price. 15 plus the ungraded copy is $4, 19 bucks. If you don't get a 10, it's definitely not worth it. If you do get a 10, it's barely worth it. So it's honestly, if you're looking to buy this card for whatever reason, I would highly recommend buying it in the grade that you are looking for, my friends. All right, next category, we are going to go into baseball. Elly De La Cruz. I was actually waiting for his actual Bowman Chrome prospect card to pop off, and it is here. We talked about this a little bit last week, how his Bowman Sights on September card was popping off. Now we have the sales volume to talk a little bit about his actual Bowman Chrome prospects card. 213 have sold in the last 7 days. And if you look at that in comparison to the number 2 card, Ken Griffey's Star, 122, it's almost double. Elly has burst onto the scene, absolutely exploded in the last month or so. He's been hitting moonshots. The Cincinnati Reds have been playing incredible baseball, and a lot of people are attributing it to the call-up of Elly. So, and if you look, the general rule when it comes to prospecting, if you sell when they come up, the price that you get versus the price you pay is exponentially different, and we're going to track that right now. So, you know, back in summer of 2022, you could have got this card for $7. I mean, heading into the season, this card was as cheap as $5. That is the ungraded copy, of course. And as you can see, after he gets called up, after he starts hitting some bombs, this card goes all the way up to $25. So a 5x in 2 months, a massive run up. PSA 10 copies are going for about $132. The 9s are going for about $40. So it is risky if you buy this card ungraded and attempt to grade it, because if you do not get that 10, chances are you're probably not going to get your money back unless the cards just continue to right off the screen. So definitely a risk in grading at this point. But if you bought Elly early, congratulations. You have definitely made some money here. We are going into football next. Brock Purdy. It is just honestly unbelievable that Brock Purdy is still dominating these charts despite injury, despite uncertainty in whether or not he remains the starter next season. I try to understand some of these trends, and I mean, aside from the fact that maybe there's just a lot of them out there and that these products are being ripped right now and people are trying to recoup perhaps some of their money, it just doesn't make sense to me. And again, like, you can let me know in the comment section, are you buying? Are you selling? Am I the only person that thinks it doesn't make sense to me that the top players on this list are Brock Purdy? We are going to go into John Elway, though, because I think it's really cool. We're going to go back really quickly to find out exactly how many have sold. So 35 over the course of the last 7 days. I mean, this guy is an all-time great. John Elway, his ungraded copies were going for as high as $55 back in October of 2021. They have since tapered off a little bit. It's almost half. We've got about $30 for an ungraded copy these days. So PSA 8s or 8s in general going for $83. Decent return on your investment. 9s are an incredible 365. 9.5s, 1,300. PSA 10s, 6,500 bucks. Now we're gonna check out the pop reports. As you saw, one of the beautiful features of the Sports Card Pro app is you can literally click pop reports and tells you exactly how many of them exist. So if you're considering grading a card, I think this is interesting because you're gonna see kind of how the grading leans, right? And perhaps you can justify some of these price tags. So as you can see, the 8s, there's 10,268 of them, which is the most of any grade for this card. $85. So that seems to be the average. And then you've got the 9s, which are only 2,793. And then you got the 10s with 180. And if you add it up, we're gonna go back a little bit. If you add up the population of all these, it's probably close to 20,000, if not more. So, I mean, there's like a 1% chance that you get a PSA 10, which means that PSA 10 cards of John Elway is 1984 tops, pretty rare. So you can use this information to understand perhaps why certain cards sell for the prices that they do, but also to establish whether or not you want to risk grading one of yours, knowing that there's so few perfect ones that exist. Next, we're going into hockey. As you can see, 7-day volume is down, and that's why hobby boxes are number one, aka 2022 Upper Deck Trilogy. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this product, but I mean, to each their own. I will go into the highest player that we have not mentioned yet, and this is a player who just won his first Stanley Cup for the Vegas Golden Knights. If you're a Golden Knights fan, congratulations. We also have Adin Hill on this list, who is also on the team, but we are going to go into Jack Eichel's number 451. 2015 Upper Deck. Now, this card back in March, I believe that was right around the time that he was traded from Buffalo to Las Vegas. It was $104, $105 raw. This card has since dropped. Ironically enough, it is lower considerably, even after he won his cup. So I get the lowest it got down to was about $33 in April, despite being on that cup run. And then they won the Stanley Cup, and now it's $40. So sometimes things don't always work out the way that you expect them to. PSA 9s are $65, 9.5s are $87, and 10s are $182. So I mean, if you were to grade this card and it comes back at 10, it is relatively profitable, depending on, I guess, your service level. As you can see here, population reports, the most graded copies of this card end up being that 10 and 9, which is normal for an ultra modern card. Some various 8s and 7s, and nothing lower than, oh, it was a 5. Oof. Imagine grading something getting a 5 for ultra modern. That's rough. Team, next sport we got on the docket is soccer. Lionel Messi, Zlatan. We're going to go into Ronaldo's number 18. This is from Net Marvels. I believe we had a Net Marvels on here last time. If it was, I'm pretty sure it was Holland. But all right, this card ungraded is going for about $3 currently. Came out not very long ago, back in April, and it was about $3.45. So it was pretty close. 9s are going for about 15 bucks. So I mean, less than the cost to grade. Not a great idea to grade this card, but again, this is just my opinion. 9.5s, $28. PSA 10s, $42. If you like this card and you want to buy it graded, buy it graded. In my opinion, based on these numbers, I mean, this is a gorgeous card. The Marvels is like a play on a subset in Donruss. It's like I said, it's aesthetically pleasing, so I understand why the volume might be up on this card. Just don't get roped into, some unnecessary hype, in my opinion. So we're going to go back. Next category, UFC. We got Hasbulla still tops this list. Honestly, absolutely incredible that he tops this list. We are going to go into something different, though. Not blaster boxes, although they are popular, as you can see over here, 2022 and 2023. And I think it's interesting that 2022 has outsold 2023. So we're going to go into Bo Nichols Silver. So this is a rookie out of the product. Apparently very sought after. His cards were going for $22 back in May, and they have since gone up to $27. So a nice little bump up there. 9s are $46, 9.5s are $97, and PSA 10 copies are going for about $150, team. Final category on our list is wrestling. I like mixing it up. We have hobby box number 1. Hulk Hogan always relatively top of this list. Bret the Hitman Hart, though, 1987 tops. Seems to be a lot of people buying 1987 tops these days, which is awesome. I love when people dig deep. They do the research and they find cards they truly like, regardless of the year. I mean, honestly, when I scroll through my feed, sometimes I see the same cards over and over and over again. And I just really love when people go and research and dig. And this is a prime example of that. 5 of these have sold in the last week or so. 1987 Topps WWF. As you can see here, it's a pretty looking card. The highest price for this card was about $24 back in October. They have since tapered off a little bit. Hype has died down. They got down to about $10, and they came up recently to about $14. So, and if you look at the pop reports over here, literally only one PSA 10 copy, which is perhaps why people have been buying. 9s are going for about $120. 8s are even going for about $40. So, I mean, this might be a card where if you buy and grade, it could be profitable for you. And that's probably why you see that sales volume up. People, they find areas of opportunity and they just jump on them. And that's kind of what I like about Sports Cards Pro. And in general, looking at trends, because you kind of see people, how their brains work. Now, it's entirely possible that it's all one big coincidence. But once you start looking at the numbers, I mean, like the fact that an 8 goes for $40, like the fact that a 9 goes for $120, like, I mean, that there's only one PSA 10. I mean, now you start to see people really get creative, and I think that is an important element to kind of forecasting where things are going. Team, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the hottest sports cards of the week. As always, please do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, share this video with a friend, hit that notification bell, because we give out literally free information on a regular basis and free product. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I love you guys. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. Sports Cards Pro and Coach Co are out of here. Peace.